Today we'll be discussing chess. This is called a regulation chessboard. Black and white squares and letters on it to signify where white and black go. Whenever setting up a chessboard, the first thing you do is look at the board and make sure that this right hand corner is white for your side and their right hand corner is white, your opponent. Those are the simple rules. On a regulation chessboard, you want to set it up according to the numbers and letters. First and second rank, which are 1 and 2. Rank is basically like a column this way, horizontal column, and those are for white. The 7th and 8th rank is always where black goes. And if you don't have letters, just set it up anyway, but just make sure that this is a white. Now, when placing the pieces on the board, there are some things you must remember. First off, you have 2 rooks. They always go in the corners. Rook right here, and rook all the way over here. Then followed by the rook is the knights. They go right here and here. Bishops always go right next to the king and queen. And queen is always on their own color. If you have letters, queen is always on the D file, and that's the letter. Files are letters. And king is always on the E file. Or queen on her own color if you don't have letters. Also, we have pawns, 8 of them. They sit up on the top rank. As you can see here, this chess set came with 2 extra queens, which will come in handy during promotion. These are also triple weighted pieces. You can hear them. I don't know, land good. I haven't practiced. First pieces I want to discuss is the pawns. The pawns can move 1 space forward at a time, except when they're on their starting line. Where they are right now, and where these are right now, they have a special rule. When they're on their starting line, they can move up 2 spaces. Once, only once, and then they have to move the rest 1 space at a time. Pawns capture diagonally. If a pawn is right here, pawn jumps right here. Pawns capture diagonally. So, let's look at the pawn real quick. This pawn can't attack here, 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 can't attack here. It only attacks diagonally in front of it. They are considered the weakest pieces until the endgame. There's one special rule you must know about the pawns. These are the 4th and 5th ranks. If a black pawn is sitting on the 4th rank, or a white pawn sitting on the 5th rank, there's a special rule. It's called en passant. Let's say he moves his pawn out too to try and escape capture, like he did right here. He moved from here to here. Now, for once, just this one time, it's white's turn. If white doesn't do it now, he can never do it again. Well, not in that situation. He can do it if they jump out there. Okay. Let me just show you. He goes behind it diagonally, and then he captures it. That's an en passant. Now, if he refuses to capture, let's say he just decides, I'm going to move a pawn up. Like that. Then they move this. He can't capture this one anymore, but he can capture this one. Next we'll be discussing the bishops. You can see they look like this. Most of them do, unless you have a weird chess set. Bishops move infinite directions, infinite spaces in one direction, diagonally, on their own color. Like this is the black bishop. Even though it's white, it's on black square. it can move this many, this many, this. It can move as long as it's not blocked. If it's blocked, it captures diagonally. This one, the white one, moves infinitely diagonally on the white diagonals. Those are the bishops. This is the rook. In a material value, which we'll get to later, mainly for tactical players like myself, it is worth 5 points, which is a high amount. The rook has a special moving pattern. He cannot move diagonally at all, but he can move horizontal or vertical infinite spaces. Well, now you're thinking he can move. He can't do this. He cannot go up and then over. He cannot move horizontal and vertical at the same time. He has to move either infinite spaces horizontal or vertical. He has those options. He's not usually used to the endgame, and he's a really powerful piece. 2 of the rook, 2 of the bishop, and 2 of the knight. The knight is what we're going to be discussing now. The knight can move 2 spaces forward and 1 space left or right, basically an L shape. 1 space forward, 2 spaces left. Well, it can't move 2 spaces right here, but it can move. Yeah, it can move 1 space backwards, 2 spaces left or right, or 2 spaces backwards, 1 space left or right. So it has a variety of moves it can make, and it's the only piece that the king cannot get out of check from by blocking. You cannot block it whenever it puts the king in check. You must either capture it or move the king. We'll get to that later. Now what you see here is the queen. She is the most powerful piece in the game. You only get one of her. She moves just like a bishop and a rook combined. She can move any number of spaces in any direction, as long as she's not blocked. If she's blocked, she captures it in that direction. Or if she's blocked by her own piece, she can't jump over it. Only the knight, which I failed to mention, the knight can jump over pieces. He's the only piece that can jump over pieces. Queen moves this way, this way, this way, this way, or this way. Now this is the last piece we'll be discussing. Well, as far as what they do. This is the king, your most important piece. Now you think the queen's the most important because she's the most powerful. No, he's the most important. The object of the game is to capture the king. Well, not technically capture it, but put it into checkmate. A check is such as this. When a piece is attacking it, like the bishop is attacking the king now, that it's in check. There's 3 things you must do while on check. You're required to do. Either move the king, block the piece, or what you can't do right now, capture it somehow. The king moves 1 space in any direction. He is your most important piece. A checkmate is as follows. The king is in check, such as this, and cannot move or block or capture the piece, which he can block right now, and he can move. But I can show you an example. This is called pawn promotion. Now, the pawn was originally over here at the beginning of the game, and at the end game it's right over at the other side where black's pieces were. Now, if you get a pawn all the way up to this part of where black's pieces were, the last rank, the back rank where all of his power pieces were, it can instantly become any piece you wish it to become, even if that piece is already on the board. Most people, well, majority, are going to choose a queen. That's why I have the queens on the side of the board for pawn promotion. So you can possibly, let's say we had this on the board the whole time. You can have as many queens as you want, but it'll just be harder. It'll be easier to put them in checkmate, but the more queens you have to block them with other pieces, so you don't inflict a stalemate or an instant checkmate if you're trying to get all pieces. So that's about pawn promotion. And that would be checked as soon as you promote it. Now, if you plan on playing tournament chess, there are some items you will need. You're required to bring your own regulation board, like I have here. Doesn't matter if the pieces are triple weighted or regular pieces. They have to be regulation pieces. Now, bring those. The tournament chess set, like this one, with the tournament bag right over there, the red bag with, and I didn't buy the timer, but the triple weighted pieces and the whole thing. This is $21, so pretty good price. You must have a timer. You're required to bring your own timer. Well, let's see how a timer works. You put it on. Whoa, it's already on play. Now, black always starts white's clock during the tournament, and this will start white's clock. White will make a move, then he'll press, pausing his clock and starting black's clock. Then, when black makes a move, he presses it down, starting white's clock again. Press down, but each time you press down the timer, it stops your clock and starts your opponent's. That's how a tournament chess clock works. And what else you might need, where I go to tournaments at, I haven't been able to buy it, but they provide it. Most tournaments do provide this. It's called score sheets. You can buy them online, pretty good prices. Score sheets are basically records of the game. What they require you to do in tournaments is take them with a pen or pencil. In each move you and your opponent make, you must write down. That's algebraic notation, which I'll discuss on a different video. Okay. Good day.